So as you can see, Toothless is doing pretty great. He's put on a lot of weight, a lot of size since the last video. I'd say he's doubled in size since then, and I've slowly moved him off of frozen bloodworm onto these carnivore pellets, which are also made specifically for axolotls. Did some research online, and they're much more of a rounder, balanced diet than the bloodworms. The bloodworms are still a good thing to feed, but I thought it'd be a bit less messy and a bit easier, and if it's a better staple diet, that's what I'm going to go with. So his diet is mostly these axolotl carnivore pellets, and sort of once a week you get some bloodworm as well. But as you can see, he is growing really quickly, and he still doesn't mind being tongue fed, which is pretty cool. And I've just given his tank a water change. We are getting a few issues with some algae on the plants and things like that, but it's to be expected in a tank like this. There's no real algae eating inhabitants in the tank. I'm toying with the idea of maybe adding some shrimp in there. I've seen a few people be successful with it online, but then there also is the risk of Toothless going after them, so I'm going to need to maybe do some more research and think about that. Do you guys have any experience keeping any sort of algae eating shrimp or anything like that in a tank with axolotls, or do you just keep your tank strictly axolotl only? I really want to know your opinions. But he's been a really cool pet. He's really interesting, really funny. You can tell when he's hungry. He comes to the front and he'll just be staring at me. He knows I'm the one that feeds him. And yeah, if I'm sat in front of the tank, he'll swim around, as you saw at the beginning of the video. But for most of his day, he just kind of sits there and just slowly plods about. I'm assuming he's happy. There he goes, just taking a couple of steps at a time. He's not in a rush for anyone. But we've had a heat wave here in the UK recently, so I've been using there's a fan on the top of his tank. His tank doesn't have a lid, but I keep the water level about an inch below the top. But yeah, I have that fan on when it gets really hot, and it keeps the water just below 20 degrees on those really hot days. So I know obviously the colder the water the better. Ideally I'm aiming for around 16 degrees, which has been a challenge, if I'm honest, to maintain. Even here in the UK, I would have thought, yep, keeping my water nice and cold, no problem. But yeah, we are experiencing a heat wave, but I'm trying my best, and I haven't seen any adverse behaviour from Toothless, and he looks really healthy to me. So I think the fan is working. It does reduce the temperature by a few degrees in the aquarium, and I think the plants are doing a good job as well, sort of removing some of the nitrate from the water. As you can imagine, feeding carnivore pellets and bloodworm and not having any sort of other inhabitants that are going to clean up any algae or any other bits of debris that settle on the bottom, you're going to want as many plants as you can. I'm thinking of adding in some more fast growing plants, but as you can imagine, there is still a bit of algae. You can see the input tube from my filter at the back there, sort of covered in green hair algae. I started scraping it off and actually decided I kind of like it. Some of the rocks, well, one of the rocks, weirdly, the rock on the left is getting a nice aged look, getting a lot of algae on it, whereas the one on the right is not. Somehow it's sort of holding the algae off. But a lot of the plants do have a slight bit of hair algae. I'm thinking of upping the water changes to sort of 80%, maybe once or twice a week. My original estimate of doing a sort of 50% water change every other week has definitely, that was on the low side. I think I need to do more than what I thought, just because he's growing so quickly and he's a hungry boy. Calling him a boy, calling him he, I don't actually know Toothless's gender yet. I won't know until they're almost fully grown. The males get a bulge just at the base of their tail, and from my research do grow a bit larger, and the females have much less of a bulge. And from what I've read, you can tell they've reached maturity when they get sort of black tips on the end of their claws. But he's a long way off that. I'd say he's only about half his adult size. He's probably about 6 inches long at the moment. So yeah, I mean, fully grown, they're going to be around a foot long. So yeah, he's been a really cool pet, and I strongly advise any of you guys out there, if you have you know, a decent sized tank, something around 20 gallons, and you want one of these guys, give it a go. They're a really interesting, fun pet to have. It was quite difficult to set up a cool setup for him, but I think I got the aquascape looking quite well, and as you can see, he seems to be behaving well, and I hope he's happy. And I hope you've enjoyed this little update. If you have, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notified about more videos in the future. And hit that like button as well if you enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment. I want to know what you guys think. You know, is there anything I could be doing better? Anything you think I should change up? What are you doing with your axolotl tanks? You know, I'm definitely a beginner. This is my first axolotl, and I've only had him for around a month. But I'm absolutely amazed at how quickly he has grown. He has doubled in size, if not more. Yeah, he's a big guy now. It's really cool. I'll leave you at the end of this video with some close-up shots of him. He is jet black, so he's a melanoid axolotl. But he appears to be getting gold sort of speckling on him, which looks really cool. I mean, I'm not complaining. I assumed if fully grown he would just be jet black. But yeah, he's getting these cool little gold speckles on him. So what I'll do is, just at the end of this video, I'll leave you a little clip of a close-up of him so you can hopefully see those gold speckles. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this one, and it's bye for now. Have a good one.